Hi, this is going to be another part to my series called Oh Muslim, what are the lamps if they're not stars? Because the Koran says that it's the lamps that Allah has beautified the sky with that are used as missiles against Satan trying to spy on Allah. And this guy comes up with great ideas to try to explain it and keep his faith in the Koran. Okay. So I say this. I know Ali is wrong. However, the Quran is written to make one think that the sky is actually something that can fall on you, or a part of it, if not held up by Allah. You think if Allah wasn't holding it up, the sky, the whole universe would shrink back and land on earth, meaning that the Quran says the sky was lifted off the earth? The thing is, the Quran blows it, and it is not clear signs at all to the point where Yusuf Ali, his version in English, has the Quran saying rain is what is clouds heaped up. Why is the Quran wrong? Because stars are not used as missiles in the lowest heaven, lowest sky, Earth's atmosphere, to chase away Satan from spying on Allah. It's meteors burning up in the atmosphere, not stars. Meteors, not actual shooting stars, meteors.
Where does the Quran say stars? Your false propaganda is hilarious.
Well, if the lamps in the sky, the Quran says, are used as missiles against the Satan, aren't the stars Allah has beautified the sky with, then what are the lamps old Allah has beautified the sky with? Think, please.
Lamps can be characterized as all glowing things from the sky. Meteors are one out of both stars, etc.
The sky says lamps are what Allah has decorated the sky with and used as guard against the Satan. You think stars are meteors every time you look up at the night sky? Think, please.
Show Quran first, please. And no, that's definitely not what I said. I said the lamps are both the stars, but the ones used as missiles are meteorites. Again, Allah speaks in math.
Where in the clear signs that explains things fully in detail, the Quran, making a distinction where is the Quran making a distinction between stars and meteorites? By the way, if a satellite falls and burns up in the Earth's atmosphere like a meteor burning up, by the way, if a satellite falls and burns up in the Earth's atmosphere like a meteorite, well, is that satellite chasing the Satan? No. Is it chasing the Satan? Satellite burning up the Earth's atmosphere.
As we both know by now, Allah holds the asteroids, meteors, etc. in orbit.
They're in orbit? Meteorites that hit the Earth are in orbit? Oh, all is gravity?
Therefore, when one of these hit our atmosphere, they burn and become lamps chasing Satan.
When parts of spaceships and rockets burn up the atmosphere, you feel they're chasing Satan. Sure, really? Yeah.
But they'll only hit the earth if willed by Allah.
Allah is mass. It's the mass of the meteorite that determines if it hits the earth.
The stars obviously won't hit the earth as a normal star. In the distant is larger than even our sun.
Not according to the clear signs Quran.
Thus would destroy the earth.
The stars can't fall on the earth, but the earth can fall onto a star. So in a way, you're right there.
Therefore, it is according to scientific and common sense meteors.
Right, but not according to the Quran, which would have you believe the lamps aren't meteors burning up burning up in the lowest heaven, sky, Earth's atmosphere, but are little stars that were beautifying the sky until they were thrown at the Satan.
Also, NASA has discovered that we are not at risk for a huge meteor to destroy the Earth,
How about an asteroid?
which also further proves how to protect the Earth.
Did you know the Koran writes that the stars' lamps aren't designed to protect the Earth, but to protect Allah from being spied on by the Satan? It's the lamps, stars, that guard Allah, not the stars, lamps guarding Earth. And apparently you believe old rocket debris burning up the Earth's atmosphere is Allah using it to keep Satan away from Allah, true?
From these celestial bodies, meteors and asteroids, according to the Quran,
Allah is the atmosphere? It's the atmosphere that protects the Earth from meteors and small asteroids. So, Allah is the atmosphere.
funny how only small and harmless meteors have hit the Earth in the time of Homo sapien.
Again, the atmosphere is Allah.
Constantly. And how even though the possibility of a huge enough meteor or asteroid is there, it hasn't happened yet.
Is Allah the atmosphere? Or God that has mapped out the cycles of objects from destroying the Earth? That hasn't destroyed the Earth so far. I believe it's God who programmed it. However, if you read the Injil's book of Revelation, sounds like one called Wormwood is going to get past the atmosphere, I mean Allah, and do a lot of damage. Yeah. And do a lot of damage.
That simply proves that Allah is indeed keeping back these asteroids and meteors that, if He wills, He can hit the Earth with.
Allah or God steering the path of planet destroyers. I mean, if a big one hits straight on, the atmosphere won't stop it.
Seems I have won the argument.
You must be related to Baghdad Bob if you think you've won any argument here. Baghdad Bob. Yeah.
Again, Allah speaks in math. In the eyes of science, it's the mass, but Allah decided billions, if not trillions of years, which asteroids or meteors would hit the Earth through the mass.
How can Allah speak in math when Allah is illogical? I mean, what comes to your mind when the Quran says it takes 50,000 years for the angels and the spirit, Jibril, to reach Allah? Since Jibril was squeezing Mo every time he said he couldn't read. Doesn't that mean old Jibril has at least 48,000 more years of flight to reach Allah? Think, please.
Where does Quran say the meteors are lamps? Show me verse.
That's a question I ask Muslims. You are to show me where it says it, not vice versa. Where did I say that they were? No, he's trying to tell me that. How? Oh, it's like saying Joe Biden's going to beat Joe Biden.
And yes, meteors hitting the Earth from our eyes are seen as shooting stars, which then further on hit Satan.
Apparently, like believing the Earth truly does set in a muddy spring. Mo thought shooting stars were truly shooting stars and not meteors.
And no, the atmosphere is not Allah. Allah simply decided at the time of creating the universe, or at least later, which rocks would hit the Earth or get close to the Earth.
Did you know that the Quran has Allah coming down into its creation in the third part of the night to ask 3 questions no one can hear except Allah? It happens every third part of the night. Did you know that only kind of that only kind of makes sense if the world is flat with the sun orbiting it. That's the only time it kind of makes sense.
And no, it will only hit atmosphere if Allah wills.
Or God wills. I don't see what that has to do with a meteor or space junk used as a missile against the Satan to keep him from spying on Allah. Don't see it.
And no, Allah is not gravity. He simply put the meteors and asteroids in their place millions of years ago. As Allah created time, He knew exactly where Satan would be standing, etc. Therefore, He could choose at the time of creating the universe which rocks would hit the earth.
So every time you see a meteor burning up the Earth's atmosphere, it's been planned millions of years ago. That Satan would do there. That's what That's what he believes here. Okay. Oh, or be yeah. Okay, rocks. Hit there. Okay. Yeah, I've got to read that again here.
And no, Allah is not gravity. He simply put the meteors and asteroids in their places millions of years ago. As Allah created time, He knew exactly where Satan would be standing, etc. Therefore, He could choose at the time of creating the universe which rocks would hit the earth.
So much for so much for free will. If Allah has planned things out that much, where's free will? Absolutely nowhere. So why is it your fault that you're in hell forever? When Allah planned it out that way. Okay. Or be thrown at Satan. True. You think rocks beautify the sky and are the lamps and not stars? You sure about that?
And no, spaceships and rockets are not asteroids and meteors sent and meant to chase Satan, sent by Allah Himself.
Did you know that in the Sahih Sound Hadith, Satan is small enough to sleep in your nose at night, and that Muhammad says it takes 3 washings of your nose to get Satan out of your nose? Question: why wash Satan out of your nose if his farts, every time the azan is called, the call to prayer, why wash him out if those farts don't interfere with your breathing or sense of smell? Why wash Satan out of your nose?
And no, the earth won't fall into a star without Allah wanting that to happen.
Well, that's good.
Again, show the verse that specifies that meteors are literal stars.
Where did I say they were? Where did I say they were? It sounds like something you want to believe. I believe the Koran is saying the lamps are stars, little stars, chasing Satan in the lowest heaven sky. Not meteors, but even if it meant meteors, you think meteors, which can be as small as a grain of sand, you think they are beautifying the sky?
I don't see the problem with Satan being small enough to be in your nose.
Well, when you see a space rock, when you think a space rock is beautifying the sky as the lamp you want to believe the Quran is talking about when it says lamps, when it seems quite apparent that it means stars when it says lamps, I think I can see why you don't have a problem with that. But I have a problem because, again, if whenever Satan farts, whenever Satan farts due to the call to prayer, like Muhammad says Satan does, which would mean that Satan is farting every hour on the hour, mean that he would be farting every hour, even when in your nose. Well, why wash Satan out of your nose if those farts don't stink nor interfere with your sense of smell? Think, O slave of the best deceivers. Think.
Actually, when that space rock hits the atmosphere and comes down by batting flames, coming down, burning in flames, it is a shooting star which is beautiful to witness. So indeed,
and you feel that only happens when Satan is trying to spy on Allah? Do you know that meteors burning up over? Did you know that meteors burn up over Antarctica, the bottom of the world as well? That's a place that you can find the most meteors burning, being that they land on snow and stand out so well. Being the case, is Allah's heaven below the earth, or is it above the earth, since Muhammad lived in the northern hemisphere? Again, whenever Satan farts due to the call to prayer, like Muhammad says Satan does, which would mean that Satan is farting every hour on the hour, he would be farting every hour, even when in your nose. And being the case, why wash Satan out of your nose if those farts don't stink nor interfere with your sense of smell? Think, O slave of the best deceivers. The slave of the best of deceivers, think. I'll stop it here.